We have a bit of fun doing it.
Exactly. And today, we are plunging right into the middle of this, well, open source revolution that's happening in AI. Like right now, May, June 2025.
It's moving so fast.
It really is. We're going to unpack the latest stuff in large language models, generative AI, agentic AI, robotics, and even data science. Think of this as your quick guide to the open tools that are seriously shaping what's next.
Whether you're coding, creating, or just, curious.
Precisely. This is for you. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do.
So, large language models, LLMs, they're kind of the core engines for so much modern AI, right? Trained on just unbelievable amounts of text.
Absolutely colossal amounts. And the open source scene, especially now, mid-2025, it's just buzzing. It's putting some really powerful tools out there for everyone.
Totally. Like, we're seeing models like DeepSeek R3 pop up. This thing is huge. 671 billion parameters.
Which sounds intimidating, parameter-wise. But the key thing, I think, is the architecture. It's using that mixture of experts or MOE approach.
Right, the MOE. And what does that actually mean in practice?
Well, basically, instead of lighting up all 671 billion parameters every time you ask it something, it only activates a specific subset needed for that task.
Okay, so it's more efficient.
Massively more efficient.
Yeah.
The source material we looked at suggests it can be like up to 25 times cheaper to run than some comparable closed source model.
Wow, 25 times. That's significant.
It's huge. It means you get that high-end performance, but without the, crazy compute costs that often lock people out.
That really does open the door, doesn't it, for smaller teams, individual devs.
Or even just hobbyists, people who want to tinker with really cutting-edge stuff, and it's good, too.
Yeah, the material says it's strong on coding, reasoning, even creative writing, like generating stories.
And you can just grab it from Hugging Face.
So, for you listening, that could mean building a pretty smart chatbot, or automating code reviews, that kind of thing.
Or, writing assistants. All without breaking the bank.
Okay, then shifting slightly, there's Llama 3.2 from Meta AI, building on 3.1.
Right, Llama 3.2, it offers that range, from 8 billion parameters up to a pretty beefy 405 billion model.
Versatility.
Exactly. And they've apparently focused on optimizing it, especially for multilingual chat and coding tasks.
And the context window. That caught my eye. 128,000 tokens.
Oh, yeah. That's a big deal. 128K tokens. Think about feeding it long research papers, legal documents.
Entire WIPs, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. It can handle that much information in one go for summarizing or asking detailed questions without losing the plot, so to speak.
That's incredibly useful for complex analysis. Where do you find this one?
Same places, really. Meta's GitHub or Hugging Face. Pretty accessible for folks wanting to fine-tune their own assistants or tackle those long-form content jobs.
Okay. And then there's Grok 3 from XAI.
Grok. Yeah, this one's available for research use currently.
Access is through their API or platforms like Grok.com, X.com, the apps.
Right. Grok's angle seems to be more on reasoning and handling kind of complex, sometimes tricky queries.
So maybe less of a general purpose builder's tool compared to Llama or DeepSeek?
Perhaps for typical deployment, yeah. But its strength seems to be in tackling those harder reasoning problems. So for researchers or people experimenting with, say, complex question answering systems, it offers a different flavor.
Interesting. So you could experiment with it, maybe integrate its reasoning into like a data analysis pipeline.
Exactly. It's another important piece in this whole open source LM landscape. It's just fascinating seeing all these different approaches. MOE, massive context windows, reasoning focus.
All flourishing out in the open. Okay, so from the text engines, let's jump into generative AI, creating stuff, images, audio, video.
Yeah, this is where it gets visually and audibly really cool.
And open source is just blowing the doors off creativity here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Putting creation tools directly into people's hands.
Like Stable Diffusion 3.5 from Stability AI. Text-to-image generation. What's the latest there?
Well, their 3.5 is reportedly faster and capable of generating more detailed images compared to the earlier versions. They're pushing for more realism, more fidelity from the prompts.
So you type, I don't know, a neon-lit cyberpunk street.
And you should get a pretty high-quality result, quicker than before. And it's on GitHub, runnable locally if you've got the GPU power, or on cloud platforms.
Which is great for creators, right? You can actually get under the hood.
Totally. You can tweak things, fine-tune it on your own art style, use it to design game assets, mock up visuals. It's not just using a black box service.
Right, you can really experiment. Okay, moving beyond images, what about audio?
Meta AI, again, with AudioCraft. This is an open source suite for generating both music and speech from text.
Music and speech. That's versatile.
Yeah, imagine needing a specific jingle, background music, sound effects, or even synthetic voices for an app or presentation. AudioCraft handles different genres, different voices.
And being open source, could you, fine-tune it?
Potentially, yeah. Train it to mimic a specific accent or generate audio in a very particular style. Grab it from GitHub. Perfect for podcast intros, custom voiceovers.
Very cool. And video's not being left behind. Runway's Gen 3.
Gen 3 is definitely making noise. It's partially open source for research at the moment, but it's creating these short, pretty impressive video clips directly from text prompts.
Like a dragon flying over a forest.
Exactly. It generates that dynamic visual. Access is via Runway's community tools for now, so it's more about experimenting and prototyping animations or short film concepts.
Still, it's a fun way to play with video creation without needing complex animation software.
For sure. And all these generative tools together, they're fundamentally changing what it means to be a creator online, I think. Well, it kind of lowers the technical barrier, right? It becomes less about mastering the complex rendering software and maybe more about having the vision and the skill to prompt the AI effectively, directing the creation.
Interesting point. The prompt becomes the art form, in a way.
Sort of, yeah. Or at least a crucial part of it. The tools become collaborators.
Okay, let's shift again. Agentic AI. This feels like the next step, right? AI that doesn't just respond, but acts.
Exactly. Autonomous systems that can make decisions, use tools, interact, and again, open source is making this accessible not just for big labs.
LangGraph 2.0 from LangChain comes up here. Building multi-agent systems.
Yeah, the idea with LangGraph is enabling AI agents to collaborate. You don't have one monolithic AI trying to do everything complex. You build a team of specialized agents.
Like one agent does research, another writes.
Precisely. Or one monitors data, another flags anomalies, a third generates a report. LangGraph helps you orchestrate how these agents interact, pass information, make decisions together. It's on GitHub.
So you could build, say, a web scraper agent that feeds data to a summarizer agent.
Totally. Or automate parts of customer support, with different agents handling different query types or stages. Starting simple, like a news summarizer, is probably a good way in.
Then there's CrewAI. How's that different?
CrewAI leans really heavily into the team simulation idea. You explicitly define roles like analyst, writer, QA tester.
Oh, that sounds intuitive.
It is. It makes it quite natural to map existing human workflows onto AI agent teams. Need a report from raw data. Assign an analyst agent and a writer agent. Find it on GitHub, too. Great for structured workflow automation.
And AutoGen 2 from Google DeepMind, AG2.
AutoGen 2 is another powerful framework here. It's known for supporting really flexible conversations and role-playing between agents. Think complex problem-solving.
Like simulating a tech support team diagnosing an issue.
Exactly. Or having coding agents that review, debug, and improve each other's code. Because it's open source on GitHub, it's very customizable for specific needs. Building a virtual tutor, maybe.
It seems like the big theme here is moving beyond single tools to building, interacting systems of AI.
Absolutely. That's the promise of Agentic AI, more sophisticated automation, by enabling collaboration between specialized AI components. And open source is driving that accessibility.
Okay, taking AI into the physical world now, robotics and physical AI, this always felt like a high barrier to entry field.
Traditionally, yes. But open source software and simulation are changing that significantly.
ROS2 robot operating system is still central, right?
Definitely. ROS2 remains the foundation for a lot of serious robotics development. The material mentions that recent updates around 2025 are focusing on improving real-time control.
Which is crucial for robots moving and interacting dynamically.
Exactly. So if you're interested in building autonomous drones, robot arms, mobile platforms, ROS2 is the place to start. It's on GitHub.
And simulation is key for beginners.
Oh, absolutely. Using ROS2's Gazebo simulator lets you design and test robot behaviors like a delivery bot navigating without needing the actual hardware right away. It's a great learning tool.
Then there's Genesis 2.0, an open source physics AI engine. Sounds cool.
It is pretty cool. Genesis 2.0 aims to let you define robot tasks using natural language.
So instead of complex code, you could just say, navigate this cluttered room.
That's the goal. Or pick up the blue block. It uses Python, making it relatively approachable. It's about making robot programming more intuitive.
Wow, where do you find that?
Also on GitHub. Great for prototyping household bots or simulating industrial tasks in a more language-driven way.
And NVIDIA's Isaac Sim 2025 is bringing in vision language models.
Yes, this connects back to the LLMs we discussed. Isaac Sim is integrating open-source vision language models into its robotics simulation environment.
So the simulated robot can understand visual input and maybe natural language commands.
Right, tasks like object recognition based on description or planning motion based on language input, it supports these complex interactions. Access is via NVIDIA's developer portal.
The material says it's a good entry point for hobbyists with a decent GPU, simulating self-driving cars, warehouse robots.
For sure. And what's exciting is seeing these tools mesh together. ROS2 is the OS, Genesis for natural language tasking, Isaac Sim for advanced simulation with AI models. It's making robotics accessible.
Definitely lowers that barrier.
Yeah.
Okay, last area. Data science and datasets. Can't have AI without data.
Nope. Data is the fuel. And open source datasets are absolutely vital for training and fine-tuning models, especially in the open source ecosystem.
The Pile V2 is mentioned as a key one.
Oh yeah, the Pile V2 is huge. Literally, it's a massive 1 terabyte text dataset.
1 terabyte? Where does it all come from?
Diverse sources. Wikipedia, our sea of research papers, GitHub code repositories, and more. It's curated to be broad and useful for training language models.
Why is having something like the Pile openly available so important?
Because training foundational models from scratch takes immense resources. But having large, high-quality data sets like this allows researchers and developers everywhere to fine-tune powerful open-source LLMs for their specific needs.
So if you want an LLM good at medical terminology or legal language,
you'd fine-tune a base model using relevant parts of the Pile or domain-specific data alongside it. It gives you that crucial starting point. You can grab it from Hugging Face.
And for the robotics side, the OpenX embodiment datasets.
Right. These are focused specifically on training robots for physical tasks using vision. Things like grasping objects, manipulating tools based on camera input.
Standardized data for robot learning.
Exactly. They provide the data needed to train models for these embodied AI tasks. Available on GitHub, perfect if you're building physical AI systems.
And the notes suggest pairing them with simulators like MuJoCo 2025.
Yeah, for realistic physics simulation, you use the OpenX embodiment data to train the robot's brain in simulation, using something like MuJoCo to model the physics accurately before deploying on real hardware.
It really highlights how crucial open data is.
Absolutely. Whether it's text for LLMs or interaction data for robots, open access to large, diverse data sets just turbocharges innovation. It lets everyone participate and build upon each other's work.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you listening right now, May, June 2025?
Well, hopefully you've got a much clearer picture of just how vibrant and powerful the open source AI scene is.
Yeah. You're now armed with knowledge about some seriously cutting-edge tools and resources that are out there, available for you to use.
The pace is just incredible, and these tools are getting more powerful and easier to access all the time.
So, the invitation is really there to dive in.
Definitely.
If LLMs spark your interest, maybe head over to Hugging Face, check out DeepSeek R3 or Llama 3.2, see what they can do.
Or if you're more creative, download Stable Diffusion 3.5 and start generating some images. Or play with AudioCraft for sound.
Or if building autonomous agents sounds exciting, look at LangGraph or CrewAI on GitHub. You can start with a simple project.
And don't forget the community.
Right. Join the GitHub discussions. Look for virtual events that AI and Data Science Summit was mentioned. See what others are doing.
Share your own projects too. Post them on X, on forums. That's how the ecosystem thrives.
Totally. We've put links to everything we discussed in the show notes so you can find them easily. Go check them out.
Yeah, explore.